Hello friends, it's Charlene with Charlene's Heartfelt Creations. Today I wanted to pop on here and show you some of what I've been working on. I have been doing a lot of my Christmas journal, but I wanted to work on something different and I kind of missed the opportunity to do much for Valentine's Day since it's right around the corner. And I thought, I want to do some Peter Rabbit stuff. And so I had these adorable little books. They were very easy to take apart. And so I had Peter Rabbit and Benjamin Bunny. And so I kept the little covers in hopes that I can do something with these. These are great to put into the journal some way, to be able to make like a little flip out or some extra pockets, or just to hold ephemera or to put pictures in. Lots of ideas. Some different ideas I can do with those. These are some of the book pages. I went ahead and used my ink to give it a little bit of a vintage look around it. And I used my die cut machine to cut out these pretty shapes. And then I matted it on I used this paper pad. I bought this at the thrift store for $1.99. And I'm trying really hard to go through and use some of the paper that I purchased at the thrift store. Since, again, I've been buying so much paper, it's insane. And so this is what you're going to see throughout my Peter Rabbit collection. But I went ahead and did a few different ones. I really like that one. I think that's so cute. The bad thing about this book is a lot of these images were double-sided. And I had a hard time figuring out which ones I wanted. This cat one is spoken for. My daughter wants this. So that one's for her. But the little bunnies in these are just adorable. And I like that they're matted. This one's really cute. I like this one a lot. The mama with the 3 babies. And then I still have some that are not matted. And like this one is not going to get matted. This is double-sided and it's the cutest little image. So that might just get tucked into a pocket. I did go ahead and make a pocket. You guys have seen me use this in previous videos. But this is so cute to be able to put any of these little tags into. The die cut for this I bought off of Amazon. Still one of my favorites. But then I took some of the pages where, the pages with the words on it, the text, it is double-sided with words. And so I went ahead and found a few of them that I thought would be really cute to have throughout a journal or in some different pockets. This one here says Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother. And so I thought this was adorable to have in the book as well. And then Peter did not eat anything. He said he should like to go home. Presently, he dropped half the onions. So I thought some of these were worth putting back into the journal. And then I made a couple of tags. And see what I said? It was double-sided. So you've got it double-sided, and I left space here to possibly decorate it with a border or something that I can put on there. Maybe washi tape. This one goes like this. And then you have the one with the bird. Look how cute the bunnies are. Oh my gosh. But I had fun making these. I watched a movie while making these, and then this one here says first he ate some lettuce and some fresh beans, and then he ate some radishes. I did make up some stickers to go with this. I'm currently in the process of making up some more because I want to have a bunch of different little vegetable stickers to put with this. I think it'd be so cute. But then I've got these. These were the cover pages in the little books. There's that one. Some of these I'm like, I got to do something with them for sure, but these are adorable. They could be the cutest little frames. And so I've got a good amount of them. So cute. And I mean, you could cut out the images or you could cut the inside out. You could just put something right on there and mat it in there. So these are really cute. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I did think about taking my knife and just cutting the inside out to make a frame. Or maybe making a pocket, and that can be like a window. So I am currently brainstorming with these. So, and then this book belongs to, those are just too cute. I have so many little images here that are nothing's really done to them. They're just cut out. And like I said, since some of them are double-sided, this one wasn't, but some of the other ones are double-sided. I don't know that I want to put them on anything. I want to keep them the way they are. This was one that I had already cut out, and I didn't like the size. I wanted to matte the image, but I thought this is such a pretty little frame that you could use this. Let's see, can you see it better on here? It'd probably be better on a colored sheet of paper. Let's see. Maybe that's easier to see it on that. But look how good that looks on the brown. I love that. And this is just a little frame that I made by accident, by the way, when I had cut out one of these images and wanted to make it smaller. I just centered my other die cut because I have the different sizes. And so I just centered my die cut on it, cut out the image I wanted, and inked up the little frame to have as well. If you can use it, why not, right? But yeah, I have these. I'm not putting anything on this. This is adorable. Having the text on one side and then the bunnies on that side. And then the tail of Benjamin Button. That would be cute colored. It's cute black and white though, but I wanted to keep all the words. I thought that the copyright and everything was really cool to have. And this one was really cool, and it has some text on the back from old Mr. Bunny. That's cute. And you could definitely put something right here, but I would not cover up either side on that. That's adorable. And then here he is with his onions. But I cut out, I've got everything from the book. I did not throw anything away from the two little books, I should say. And again, it's hard to do something when it's double-sided. I had a part of an image that I went ahead and made a tab. So I haven't figured out how to use the little tab piece yet. But when I have extra pieces of things that will fit into my tab punches, I usually try to do that and make some tabs. And the illustrations in these are just so pretty. This one's got the bird. I had originally torn this, and I don't think it fits very well with the aesthetic of the rest of what I've done. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this. Maybe punch it out or something, because I got a bunch of different paper punches that I haven't pulled out in forever that I pulled out for this project, and I can't wait to use some of them. I made this card with some of my scraps. I really wish I had inked that up because it's so bright, and I might just go over it with some of the walnut stain to kind of just darken it up a little bit, but I'm not totally sure what I'm doing with this. I have thought about doing full-on sheets and just making tags, and so this might end up being some different tags. But then I've got all the book pages. Oh, here's the Tail of Peter Rabbit. This one's cute. I like this one. And then here's the Tail of Peter Rabbit as a tag. I have a couple other images here from different books as well. I love this one. And so I think these ones are from a different book, and that's why the coloring is a little bit different, because I have probably 5 different Peter Rabbit books that I've picked up from the store. But I have all these that are going to be made into something else. So I saved all these to do tags or different ephemera. And then these are a couple of sticker sheets that I made up using my Cricut. I love the print then cut feature that it offers. I have more stickers that I am currently in the process of trying to edit. I want to do vegetables. I feel like this needs a bunch of vegetables with it. But I love the book seal, and I was going to print out a bunch more, but I wanted to get to working on my video. So this is what we've got to work with for right now. I figured I'd make a couple of things right here on camera with you that will go with this set. I'd like to make up a couple of different ephemera sets that I can put in my Etsy shop. And so the first one that I thought I could do, and I just showed these on a video in my last haul video. This, I instantly had an idea for this once I started showing you guys in the last video. Something super easy. This is just an envelope, and you can get coin envelopes and things that are nice and long like this from like the Dollar Tree. Envelopes like this are actually pretty easy to make. I just liked that it's got this unique flap on it, but I figured, look at this. It's so simple. This is one way that you can do something quick and easy. This is a thicker envelope as well because it's craft paper. And so I really want to go ahead and get this down. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece off since I would like it to be a pocket. So it's going to be like a double pocket. So I'm going to take just a small amount off. There we go. And then this is going to go right here. And you could have made it a pocket where you still can, but you could make it a double pocket here and then have this available. But I'm going to go ahead and glue this down just for some extra stability. And I love pockets and envelopes, and I just feel like there's so many different fun things you can do with them. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and I should have done this before I glued it down. I never think to do this before I glue things down, but I'm going to go ahead and line this up inside of here. And there we go. Do you guys do that too? Think to punch out the little circular portion of it later after you've already put it all together? I do it all the time, unfortunately. So here is one variation of this pocket. I have an idea to show you for another, but let's see. I'm going to use these pockets up so fast because they're just the cutest thing ever. But we're going to go ahead and decorate this pocket. And I have some scraps here that I'm going to use since I'd like everything to match with the aesthetic of what I'm already doing. I'm going to see if I can fit some of these scraps right onto it. Alright, so we're going to try to use up some of these scraps on this pocket. And I really like this paper pack. This wouldn't have been a bad idea to glue down first. Let's see. Where is my ruler? I'm going to go ahead and line it up and then just tear it. And we'll see how it looks from there. I used glue, so it should be easy to pull this up. And I think I'm going to put this right here before let's tear that off and that off. And then we'll put this right here. All right. And then I'll just have to reattach that to glue it down. And so here's my scrap being used, which makes me very happy. The other thing that makes me really happy is when I go through and I use the things that I've been buying since I've been doing my videos, instead of just letting everything sit and not get used. It's exciting when I get to go back in and start seeing different things getting used and, in a sense, being used up, so that I know that I'm not wasting my time or my money. And so I am very good at buying stuff to just kind of collect it. I'm kind of a crafting hoarder, I guess. I'm going to also add a sticker onto here, but I'm going to go ahead and tear this down Let's see. I'm going to use the scrap. And these are all sheets that I used my die cuts for. So let's go ahead and put that on there. I think I want it a little bit longer. And maybe I can cover up that one section that's torn with a sticker. And I'm going to get out my ink real quick so we can ink up some of the edges here. Alright, I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Walnut Stain to go ahead and ink up my edges. And this one is one I'm assuming a lot of you like, because whenever I go to purchase this, I have to get it on Amazon. They don't have it in Hobby Lobby, so I go to buy it on Amazon and it's almost always sold out. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put this here, and then let's see, which sticker are we going to want to put on there? I think I'm going to want to use the Peter Rabbit with the onions. That's pretty cute. So we'll put this down. I'm kind of wishing that I was using my tape runner right now. It just seems like it's way quicker. But I'm going to just do this because I think it'll be easier to get it on here quickly, and I don't feel like finding it. I know I had it, but I had to clean up. The other thing, look, I'm putting everything crooked. Oh my gosh, my tape runner's right next to me. I pulled it out with my ink. There we go. We're going to leave that there like that. Here's my tape runner. I was trying to convince myself that I didn't need to use it. I think I want to put him right here. I think that's cute. But you know what? Let me see. I need some washi tape. I have a bunch right here. Let's get some washi tape on here. I think we can't use the green on there. Ooh, I like this one. This one would be cute. Actually, I really like this darker green. Let's go with this. All right. We'll put this here. And then we'll put cute little Peter Rabbit right there and just cut the excess off. And then, you know what? We could probably grab one of the pages of the book. Maybe I can get a cute little cutout with his name and then decorate this next to him. All right, let's go ahead and put some ink on there. And then I feel like this would be cute. Somewhat under here with his name next to him. Let's see. I should be able to pull that up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's cute right there. And then we'll add a little bit of glue. And then I also have these really cute trim borders, trim punches that I really like. I don't know what that came off of. Probably a punch somewhere. Anyway, these are Stampin' Up. I love these. I used to use these all the time. And so I don't have any of the blue on there, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just take a piece of this scrap. Which one do I want? I love this one. This is one of my absolute favorites. And so you just line it up in here. I always see paper punches at the thrift store. It surprises me because of how much I love them, but I think people get tired of using them. And you just take it and line it up. There's a pattern right along the edge here, and you want to line your pattern up. I remember having to teach people how to use these in Stampin' Up! Classes, and it seemed like people kind of despised them. Oh, you know what? My stapler would have been a cute little touch with this, to have this piece stapled on the edge. All right, we're going to tear right there, and then just tear this up. That would have been so cute stapled right there, wouldn't it? Oh well, maybe I'll add a staple in a little while to it. But I'm going to put this there. And then we have to figure out what we're going to put into our pocket. All right, and this was mostly decorated with scraps. I'm going to take that down just a little bit. Mostly decorated with scraps. Obviously this envelope was brand new. And I'm going to ink up the top part of this since it's pretty white up there. Okay, and then you could very easily take things like this. First you ate some lettuce, and you can either tuck it in here, or you could punch a hole and actually make it like a tag. Let's see, what all do I have here? I say let's add that one. That's cute. And then inside here, I wonder if I have any book pages that would fit perfect in there. The book pages don't fit in there, but we could find some other things to make and put inside. So let's see what we've got. I showed you these in my last video. These are too big to fit into the envelopes, but we could definitely cut this down. I don't have my big paper trimmer with me. I have my smaller one. So I'm definitely going to have to tear this. And then I'm going to cut this down to fit inside, because this just looks super cute with it, in my opinion. Just trying to make a tag out of it. But I think I want to use the bottom portion. And so, how big is this envelope? Because we're going to want it to go inside, no problem. Alright, so it's 5 inches. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit larger than 5. And then take off sides on it. So I'm trying to make it fit in there. And then I was going to use a punch for the top of it to make it a tag, but then it's going to be too narrow because I think my punches are only 2 inches wide. So we'll go ahead and take off a little more and make it 5 inches. And then a little trick that somebody showed me for making your edges look more like a tag. You just go ahead and you cut one off, and then you take the piece that came off and attach it on this side. I mean, you're not going to attach it, you're just lining it up. And then you go ahead and cut the same portion off on the other side, so they look pretty symmetrical. So I went ahead and punched a hole in this, but I decided I really want to use this and punch out a little tiny circle. Oh, I thought that had the measurement on it. I bought a bunch of these from Stampin' Up! When they came out with their little ones, just because it was really fun for different fonts. Alright, let's see. I'm going to actually fold my circle in half. I should have folded it in half before I put glue on it. Alright, and then we'll see if we can line this up and get a hole in the center. See if I can get my circle on my paper somewhat centered. Alright, I think that looks good right there. And then center would be right about there where we folded it. Okay. And so now the tag's a little bit more dressed up. And then I've got some sheer ribbon that I was showing in my last video. I'm going to go ahead and use this blue sheer and attach some ribbon to the top of this. Hopefully I don't have any issues getting it in there. It's pretty, you know what, I'm not going to use that. I forgot that I have this, and this would look so much better with the green. I like the blue, and the blue might be really cute for another thing, but this green, like I said, I have a hard time remembering some of the things I have. I actually pulled this stuff out before starting my video so I could make sure I had it close by so I could use some of the things that I've shown you in previous haul videos. And it was like not far from me and I did not notice it until a second ago, so I'm glad that I noticed that before putting that together. Now this is something that I picked up at Ollie's when they were doing all the crafting stuff. I was hoping I'd find more crafting stuff. Lately, it's kind of been a hit or miss. Our Ollie store hasn't had much of anything lately. But this will be a cute little addition on this here. And it should fit into the pocket much better than if we were to do... You know what else would be cute with this? Green rickrack. But I don't have that with me right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this. I think the green is very fitting for this. I'm going to tie that right there. And then, you know what? I'm going to tie another knot up here before I pull that off. I would make a tassel, but a lot of times I'll make a tassel on this. I don't think I'm going to do a tassel today. So we're just going to have a couple of knots. And then this can go right inside here. And it fits perfect. And then I have these also that I thought would work really well with this. These are another one I picked up at Ollie's. And that would be really cute to have just pinned right on there. All right, let's move this out of the way. I had something I was going to stick on here, but you know what? I'm going to get some vegetables. I'm going to put some vegetables up here, I think. All right, so that worked out well. We have this piece still that we can use. This would be really cute with the mama bunny on it. Anyway, here is this pocket. And I feel like it needs a little bit more, but I'm going to leave it the way it is for the moment. And then this one here, I thought about making another one and maybe putting the circle here and putting a brad in it and then doing a brad down here, and then I can go ahead and loop the twine. I don't have any brads out here with me right now, so I'm going to hold off on this one and maybe I'll show you in another video. But envelopes, I cannot tell you enough how much I love envelopes. And so we'll go ahead and maybe do a whole envelope ephemera pack or something like that, a whole video on the different things. I did something not too long ago about envelopes, but some more ephemera envelope ideas are fun. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean up and then I'm going to show you something else. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is a quick pocket. I've been working on a couple of these, and So just something really quick and easy, just a pocket like these here. I've been using the different sheets I have in this paper pack. I did not glue anything down yet because I want to ink these up. I don't like how this one is right here. I want to tear this down a little bit more. And so I figured I could tear it down. I'll probably tear that down a little bit more than that actually, because it is the back side of the paper. I don't want such a big white strip on there. That's a little bit better. I might tear that down some more, but these are super easy. It's just one sheet of paper, and I'm going to show you how quick this is to make. All right, let's find a piece of paper in here. This is a good one. Some of these pages are a little bit torn up, but I didn't think it was too big of a deal when I bought it. I wanted something that I could use for my journals, and they had this at the thrift store for only $1.99, and I actually think it was one that I got on sale for like 50% off that day too, because sometimes I do question whether or not I need more paper, believe it or not. And there has been paper that I have passed up in the past, but not very many times. Anyway, you want this to be an 8.5 by 11 sheet. And so I'm just going to tear it down. I could have made this easy on myself and brought my paper trimmer out, but then I would have had to go and move a bunch of stuff to get to it. I don't use my big one as often as I used to, just because I really like the tearing method. All right, so now we've got a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and you're just going to take this and fold it over. And I wanted to show this because I'm always using my die cuts, and I know some people don't have die cuts. So I wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to make a pocket if you really want a nesting pocket or some kind of fancier pocket. Obviously, if you do it with double-sided paper, you get a different look, or you can always go through and use something that's a little fancier. You can tear these down once you, like I was trying to show you on the other one, I will most likely tear those down. All right, so you want to put it in here, right at the corner of this. You're going to cut upward, right there, and then you want to level this out, and so you're going to put it in your paper trimmer and find a good level spot, and that's all you do. Now for me, I don't really like how wide this white strip is since it's not double-sided paper, so before you glue anything down, go back in, tear the sheet down, and there's a pocket. All you have to do is, I'm going to get the fine tip glue, and we're going to go ahead and adhere the side right here. Make sure you do it on the side that's cut down. Otherwise, if you go all the way up, you're going to get it in a spot you don't need glue. All right, so put a little bit of glue on there. And then you're going to fold it over. Where did I set my scissors? I'm going to cut that little edge off. You're going to fold it over and glue across the bottom here and right up the side. And now you have 3 little pockets that you can embellish and do different things with. Let's see, do I have a tag or something that I can show you? You have a nice pocket that you can decorate and do some fun stuff with. Now, obviously, I went back in and I inked things up, and I went ahead and I tore my edges a little bit because I prefer the torn edges. I actually like the idea of having it this way, so I kind of wish I had glued it that way, but that will work too. So that's the fun thing about this pocket, is you can really alter it to be however you want it to be, and then fill it up with whatever you want to fill it up with. And this is a fun pocket to just put a bunch of little things in. You should be able to fit things like a full book page in here, because it's a little bit larger of a pocket. So there could be a book page in there. Let's see, some of these cute little tags. We could throw, let me see, I need an image. Here's an image one of Peter Rabbit, and he can stick out the top there. And then here's a pink one. It's just a nice little pocket with a lot of space. I wanted to show you an easy way to make a quick pocket out of a full sheet of paper. And the one we used was a 12 by 12. So we ripped it down and made it smaller. So I have this entire scrap to use for something else. And like I said, I've got a bunch of pockets here that I need to go back in and finish them up. I personally love this green one for Peter Rabbit. I think this is adorable. So I'm going to try to get these ones all finished. At this point, I had started a third project to go along with this ephemera pack and pretty much got to completing it before I realized that about a quarter of the way through, my camera had cut off. And so I deleted any of that I had in this video, and I'm going to try to go ahead and make another video showing you a few more things that coordinate really well with this before I get it all put together to put into my Etsy shop. It feels like I'm crafting with friends when I get to do these videos. So I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate you coming and watching my videos, liking, commenting, sharing, just helping me grow my channel. I really appreciate you guys. So thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time, bye.